this video, we're going to focus on creating our collectible for this game. Now, throughout this game, you're going to have a collectible item that's a diamond. And if you were creating your own environment that's massive, you might have a lot of diamonds. And instead of placing these objects individually, we can actually turn that prefab into a paintbrush and we can paint that prefab onto our environment. So instead of me having to create this diamond into a prefab and place it 100 different times and position it out, I can actually just use my paintbrush and paint it. So we have a custom brush called a prefab brush, and that's what we're going to be creating. So very similar to our tiles, we're going to be creating basically a prefab tile. So to do this, what we want to do is we need to right click our sprites folder, let's create, and we're going to create a prefab brush. And that's going to create this new tile here called a prefab brush. So let's call this, we're going to go ahead and call this coin. Or I'm sorry, diamond brush. All right, and this is going to be responsible for painting our diamonds. One thing I want to do to stay organized is we're going to go ahead and put this into our tile map. We're going to create a folder for it, and we're going to call this brushes. And let's go ahead and put this brush inside there. Once we've done that, we can then move on to actually creating the prefab. So inside of our effects folder, we have a diamond. And what we need to do here is we need to actually slice this diamond. So let's go ahead and go to multiple, open up your sprite editor, and let's go ahead and slice the diamond up. This is going to be a 32 by 32 diamond. So we can actually try the automatic slice. If we just slice it, it will try and detect the dimensions. And it looks like it did just that. So let's go ahead and hit apply. And we're good to go. That's going to go ahead and create all the sprites for our diamonds. And we will be animating these later in the course. But what's important now is that we're going to have a prefab of this. So we're going to take the first sprite and let's just drag it into your scene. So from here, let's go ahead and rename it to diamond. And what we need to do here is let's go ahead and just find it in our scene. All right, and we're going to have to bring it forward. So order and layer will be 1, 2. All right, we'll put it on 2, which I believe is our ground layer. If we look at our ground, it's on 2, so we want to be able to interact with it, so it's going to be on the same layer. So here's our diamond here. And now what I need to do is let's just go ahead and turn it into a prefab. So to do this, all you have to do is just drag it into your project view, and that's going to turn it into a prefab. To stay organized, we can create a folder dedicated to prefabs. Create, new folder, let's call it prefabs. And we're going to go ahead and put the diamond in there. Okay, so we have our diamond prefab. How can I begin painting this? Let's go back to our brush tile that we created. And we're going to go ahead and drop this prefab size down to 1. It's going to ask for a game object. We're going to drag that prefab into that slot. And then we can simply head back over to our tile palette. And all we have to do now is just change our brush type. So if you'll see down here that we're currently on the default brush, if you change it to your diamond brush, or you'll notice now that you have multiple brush options, and you'll see here your diamond brush is at the bottom. Simply select it, select your paintbrush, and you can now paint that prefab all over your map. As you can see here, I can click and drag and create a bunch of diamonds wherever I'd like. One thing you can also do if you wanted to stay more organized is you could actually put all of these on their own layer. So I'm just going to Control Z to back up here. We can create a new 2D tile map, and let's call this diamond map. So diamond _ tile map. And once we've done that, we can then set the order layer to 2 so that we're on the same layer as our ground. And then what we can do is we can actually change our active tile map by going back to our default brush. Let's change our active tile map to the diamond tile map. And then from there, we can change our brush back to diamond, select our paintbrush, and we can begin painting our level. And now it's all organized underneath the diamond tile map, which you can also control as a whole. So it's just an option for you.